Okay. Thank you for taking the time to review my lesson with me. I just want to walk through what I did and how it connects to the standards, and also reflect on what went well and what I can improve moving forward. So for this lesson, I was teaching homophones, specifically there, and there, two, and two, and your versus yours. I structured my lesson using the I do, we do, you do model because I wanted to make sure students had enough support before working independently. I started with direct instruction where I introduced each set of homophones and explained what they mean. I gave examples and tried to keep it simple so students wouldn't get overwhelmed. Then we moved into guided practice where we corrected sentences together, and I asked students to explain why they chose certain answers. After that, students practiced more on their own, and we ended the lesson with a Jeopardy-style game, which helped review everything in a more fun and engaging way.
I noticed that structure. How do you think it supported your students?
Um, I think it really helped because students weren't just thrown into the work. They got to see examples first, then practice with support, and then try it on their own. It gave them that gradual release, which I think made them more confident. I also noticed that more students were willing to participate because they had already seen how to do it. One thing I would say I need to improve is my transitions. There were a few moments where I could have been more clear or quicker when moving from one activity to the next. I think tightening that up would help with pacing and keep students more focused. I also used modeling and think aloud strategies throughout the lesson. One example of that is I showed students how to check if there is correct by saying they are out loud. I repeated that a few times so they could remember it and use it on their own. I also modeled how to figure out if something shows ownership or place when working with their, THEIR, and their, THERE.
How did students respond to that?
They responded pretty well, especially during the game. That was probably the most engaging part of the lesson. Students were excited, they were participating, and they were trying to explain their answers. I could tell they were starting to understand the differences. At the same time, I realized I was doing a lot of the talking. I was asking questions, but I could have given students more opportunities to talk to each other. Next time, I would add things like turn and talk or small group discussions so they can explain their thinking more. I think that would help them process the information better. Throughout the lesson, I was checking for understanding by asking questions and having students explain their answers. When students made mistakes, I gave feedback right away and tried to guide them to correct answer. I tried to guide them to the correct answer instead of just telling them. An example, I would ask them if the sentence showed ownership or place to help them figure it out.
How did you use that information?
I mostly used it in the moment to reteach or clarify when students were confused. That helped me adjust what I was saying right away, but I do think I need to improve on collecting more formal data. I didn't really have something like an exit ticket to clearly see who mastered the skill and who didn't. So next time I would definitely include a quick exit ticket or a short written check so I can track student understanding and better plan my next steps. But overall, I think my strengths were explaining the content clearly and modeling strategies and keeping students engaged. I feel like students understood the basic idea and they were willing to participate, especially during the game. But at the same time, I want to improve on giving students more opportunities to talk, improving my transitions, and making sure I'm collecting data to guide my instruction. If I had to reteach this lesson, I would use more visuals like anchor charts so students have something to refer back to. I would also give more guided practice before moving to independent work, especially for students who need the extra support. And I would probably pull a small group to reteach the concept in a simpler way and use sentence starters to help them explain their thinking. Overall, this lesson helped me see what I'm doing well and what I need to keep working on. I'm really focused on making my lessons more student-centered and using data to improve my teaching. See, thank you again for your awesome feedback, and I really appreciate it, and I'm continuing to grow from this experience. Thank you.